So, you're ready to start an LLC in Texas. I'm here to walk you through the entire process, covering the main steps and other important information you need to know to set up your Texas LLC. And guess what? It can be done in just a few minutes. Plus, I'll share some helpful insights and tips to help you avoid common mistakes and unnecessary fees. Starting an LLC in Texas is a smart move. It's like putting a shield around your personal stuff, protecting it from business debts. And the tax benefits, they're pretty sweet too. You get to avoid that double taxation headache. Now, I know some of you might think setting up an LLC is super complicated, but trust me, it's not. It's actually pretty straightforward. By the end of this video, you'll see how simple it can be. So let's dive in and get your Texas LLC set up the right way. Naming your Texas LLC, the foundation of your business identity. All right, so let's talk about naming your Texas LLC. It's not just about picking something that sounds cool. Your business name is the foundation of your brand identity. It's the first thing people will see and remember about your company. So we need to get this right. Now, Texas has some specific rules when it comes to naming your LLC. You can't just slap any old name on there and call it a day. First off, you've got to include one of these phrases in your name: limited liability company, LLC, or L.L.C. It's like putting a stamp on your business that says, hey, I'm legit. But here's where it gets tricky. Your name has to be unique. You can't use something that's too similar to another business in Texas. The state doesn't want any confusion, especially when it comes to government agencies. And get this, naming issues are actually the #1 reason LLC filings get rejected in Texas. So we've got to nail this part. Oh, and heads up, there are some words you can use without extra paperwork. Things like bank, insurance, or a lawyer. If you want to use those, you might need special licenses or documents. It's not impossible, but it's definitely more work. So how do you make sure your awesome name idea is available? It's actually pretty simple. The Texas Secretary of State has a website where you can search for business names. I'll walk you through it real quick. So you go to the site, type in your name idea, and boom, it tells you if it's taken or not. Easy peasy. But here's a pro tip for you. Sometimes the online search isn't 100% up to date. If you really want to be sure, give the Secretary of State's office a call. They can give you the most current info on name availability. It might take a few extra minutes, but it could save you a big headache down the road. Now, let's talk about making your name memorable. You want something that sticks in people's minds, right? Think about your target audience. What would appeal to them? Your name should reflect that. And here's something a lot of people forget. Check if the domain name is available too. Even if you're not planning on building a website right away, you'll want to grab that domain as soon as possible. Your LLC's legal lifeline: appointing a registered agent. Now, let's talk about something super important: your registered agent. You might be thinking, what's that? Well, let me tell you, it's like having a legal wingman for your business. Basically, it's a person or a company that's officially designated to receive important legal documents for your LLC. We're talking about things like government notices or, heaven forbid, legal actions against your business. It's kind of like having a personal assistant who handles all the serious mail for your company. Now, here's the deal with registered agents in Texas. They've got to have a physical address in the state. And no, a P.O. box won't cut it. They also need to be available during regular business hours to accept documents. It's like they're always there on call for your business. Now, you've got a few options when it comes to choosing a registered agent. You could be your own agent, ask a friend or family member, or hire a professional service. Each option has its pros and cons, so let's break it all down. Now, being your own registered agent might seem like a good idea at first. I mean, you're saving money, right? But here's the catch. Your name and address becomes public records. That means anyone can find your personal info. Plus, you've got to be available during business hours every day. But what if you want to take a vacation? or you're in an important meeting when someone tries to serve legal papers. Using a friend or family member can work, but it's risky. What if they forget to tell you about an important document? Or do they move out of the state? Suddenly, your business can be in hot water without you even knowing it. And that's why a lot of people go with a professional registered agent service. Yes, it does cost a little bit more, but it comes with some serious perks. For one, it keeps your personal info private. No more worrying about your home address being out there for everyone to see. Plus, these services are experts at handling legal documents. They know exactly what to do and when to do it. Now, here's why having a reliable registered agent is so crucial. If you miss an important legal document or deadline, it could spell big trouble for your business. We're talking about potentially losing your right to do business in Texas. That's not a risk you want to take, trust me. Making it official, filing your certificate of formation. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. Filing your certificate of formation. This is the big moment. It's like the birth certificate for your LLC. Without this document, your LLC doesn't officially exist in the eyes of Texas. So what exactly is this certificate of formation? Well, basically it's a form that tells the state all the important details about your new business. Think of it as your LLC's ID card. It's got all the vital info the government needs to know about your company. Now, what goes into this form? Well, first up, you've got to put in that awesome name you picked out earlier. Remember all those rules we talked about? This is where they really matter. Make sure you've got the right designation like LLC or limited liability company in there. Next, you'll need to list your registered agents. It's super important. You'll put down their name and address, and remember, it has to be a physical address in Texas, not a PO box. Then, you've got to decide on your LLC's management structure. Are you going to be member managed or manager managed? If you're not sure, most small LLCs go with member managed. It just means the owners run the show. You'll also need to state the purpose of your LLC. Don't worry, you don't need to write a novel here. Most people would just put something general like, the purpose of the company is to engage in any lawful activity for which LLCs may be organized in Texas. Now, here's where it gets exciting. You've got options for how to file this thing. You can do it online through the Texas Secretary of State's website, mail it in, or even file in person if you're feeling old school. If you want to get your LLC up and running fast, go for the online option. It's usually processed in about 2 weeks. Mailing it in, that could take up to 2 months. And nobody's got time for that, right? Now, here's the part that might make your wallet a little lighter, the filing fee. For a domestic LLC, that's one formed in Texas, it's $300. If you're setting up a foreign LLC, meaning your company was formed in another state but wants to do business in Texas, it'll cost you $750. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, that's a lot of money. But think of it this way, it's an investment in your business's future. Plus, it's a one-time fee. Once you're set up, you're good to go. Now, here's a pro tip for you veterans out there. If you've served in the military, you might be able to file for free. You'll need to get a veteran verification letter and submit it along with a special form. It's a nice little thank you from Texas for your service. Now, let's talk about avoiding mistakes. The number one reason LLC's filings get rejected in Texas? Naming issues. So double and even triple check that your name is available and follows all the rules. Also, make sure all your info is accurate and complete. Missing or incorrect details can cause delays, and nobody wants that. If you really want to speed things up, you can pay for expedited processing. It costs extra, but it can cut your wait time down to just a couple of days. Securing your LLC's future. Essential post-formation steps. Alright, now that your LLC is officially formed, there are a few more things you need to do to set yourself up for success. First, you'll want to get an EIN. It's like a social security number, but for your business. And the good news? It's totally free to apply through the IRS website. Next up, consider creating an operating agreement. It's not required in Texas, but trust me, it's super helpful. It lays out how your LLC will run and can prevent a lot of headaches down the road. And don't forget to open a separate bank account for your business. It keeps your personal and business finances clean and tidy. You might also need some specific licenses depending on what you're doing. Oh, and heads up, Texas has this thing called an annual franchise tax report. You'll need to file it every year by May 15th. It's not as scary as it sounds, but it's important to remember. All right, you've seen how starting your Texas LLC can be a breeze, right? Not so complicated. But here's the thing, if you want to save even more time and avoid any potential mistakes, using a formation service is the way to go. And I'm super excited to recommend Zen Business. They'll handle all the paperwork and make sure your Texas LLC is formed correctly, saving you from any headaches down the road. Just use my link below in the description of this video to get started with Zen Business and experience how easy and stress-free forming your LLC can be. Your Texas LLC journey begins now, and it's easier than ever. Thank you for watching. Till next time.